Hey, I'm Danny. Welcome to another episode of AperTrotter. Today we're actually going to be looking at the not so brand new, but quite modern Leica Q. So we're here at the Block 1912 Cafe here on Whyte Ave. Got myself put on my hipster bow tie. Got myself a nice ice Americano and have this beautiful German camera in my hand. And what other better way than to go shoot in this area? A few basic specs of the camera. It's a full frame sensor, a fixed lens compact 28mm Summilux lens with the f1.7 aperture. It's even got one of the aperture rings here, typical Leica for you. It's got a beautiful screw-on metal lens hood as well. Scale focusing for manual focusing. Come check this out. Macro mode as well. Look at that, just the scaling just changes. That's incredible. Leica engineering. So styling wise, it looks like a Leica M. Very sleek, very nice build quality, magnesium alloy housing, just this beautiful screw-on lens hood. Just the fit and finish is just beautiful on this camera. As you can tell, made in Germany, very important. It is a full frame, fixed lens, compact camera. And this is kind of like Leica's more budget-friendly cameras out there. Let's shoot around and see how she performs. Just changing my settings. ISO 100 because we're out in obviously a bright sunny day. So now we're actually out on the street. We're gonna go try out this camera and see how she performs. Cool. So nice, small, compact. It's very discreet, very sleek design. Also, it's got the leaf shutter, leaf mechanical shutter, so it's super quiet. It almost sounds like an e-shutter, to be honest. Very quiet operation here. I'm just going to shoot Funky Buddha and the Princess Theater. As you can hear, it's very quiet. You hear that? I can't really hear anything. It's like a little tick, like a tick, tick. That's part of the German engineering refinement, I guess. If you also, for street stuff, just usability, I find this one. It's got a nice little thumb here, little thumb spot, little parking spot for your thumb. And I find that's actually quite comfortable, just handhold, just one-handed even. Very light, very comfortable to hold still. Found another street photographer. Also on top of that, if this, of course, is the Leica. We're out here looking for the decisive moment. The neat thing about this one, 10 frames per second. So I can do a nice little burst here. Shot 10 frames right there. Can get reflection shots also too. And of course, because this is a Leica, everything that comes out of this camera is going to be fine art. It's an ice cream shack. Of course, first thing you notice, it's got the Summilux. This is actually a true Leica lens, f1.7 with the aperture ring also. 28mm doesn't sound like your typical kind of like street focal length, but no worries, there are actually a digital teleconverter on there, so you can actually digitally zoom in a little bit at 35mm or 50mm equivalent focal length. And with 24 megapixels on the full frame sensor, you got enough resolution for a little bit of cropping as well. So So as I mentioned before, this camera isn't so new. It came out 2015. It's about 3 years, a little bit more than 3 years old now. First things first, despite being a Leica, it's very simple to use. Very much a modern camera, I find still. Especially the autofocus. You got 49-point AF system, contrast detect only. So that means it's very reliable, and as soon as you find contrast, it's almost like very accurate as well. Kind of in this older looking part of Whyte Ave here, so it's very, this camera just fits in right here. And as you can hear, the autofocus is just instantaneous. Not only that, you've got also face detect autofocus, which is pretty cool. You got a touch screen on a Leica, which is pretty cool. You can basically tap and shoot or tap to focus. You got Wi-Fi built into this camera, which is pretty awesome. Honestly, it's a very good travel camera. It's very good, just an everyday kind of walk around camera. As I also mentioned before, build quality, very good. An easy manual housing. Only thing I have an issue kind of with the street cameras. I feel like all street cameras should be weather sealed. Got, I think this is El Cortez. Nice, colorful. Another thing about Leica, you'll notice lenses optically, you know, it's going to be very sharp, very true to life colors as well. One of the beautiful things about Leica is their optics, obviously. Very true to life colors, beautiful micro contrast, good contrast actually. Just like that Leica look. You always constantly hear people talk about this thing called the Leica look. The way it renders the autofocus areas, the bokeh. It's very neutral tone. You notice like it's very smooth, very circular. That just looks like quality. So we're here kind of in the back kind of areas of Whyte Ave here. It's got the famous mural by Mexican artist, I believe. It's great for Instagram. See how the Leica renders colors. And right here you got the farmer's market also. Place where basically hipsters go to on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. It's a little bit of a sun kind of coming out there. Beautiful. So another neat thing also with even this guy here, being a modern camera, you actually have some pretty neat features, especially for manual focusing. You have the scale here for if you like to do kind of like scale focusing and kind of like prejudging distance or where your subject's going to be before you take the shot. Another neat thing also, it just got this pretty nice little click here. It locks in, then you have autofocus. All you do is kind of pitch this little clip here, turn it, then all of a sudden you're in manual focus. And what's neat about this guy is you actually have focus peaking, which is nice. You can change them to whatever color, but because this is a Leica, I decided red would be the most appropriate peaking color. As you can tell, it just highlights everything that's in focus, out of focus, in focus. Makes manual focusing just a breeze. So yeah, it's pretty much good all around. So far in my experience with this, I just feel really cool using the camera. It's kind of like, yes, I understand it's got a $6,000 price tag, and there are probably better cameras out there that you can spec-wise you can buy, but honestly, it makes you feel good. You're gonna more likely to pick it up and use it more often anyways. And the image quality coming out of this camera is actually quite amazing. The autofocus is there, it's very snappy, very reliable, it's fast, 24 megapixels, good resolution, full frame, amazing in low light. The lens, very sharp, neutral bokeh, just optically, just a very good all-around camera. Another thing I need to mention on this lens, actually, it's got one of the neat things if you're doing kind of like a bit of video. This thing does shoot decent video. Leica's not exactly known for video, but 1080, 60 frames per second, or 30 frames per second, which is pretty good. On the lens, actually, you actually have optical image stabilization, which you can turn on and off, which is actually quite nice, especially if you're hand-holding shots at slower shutter speeds or doing some B-roll shooting with the camera. Q. So we're going to talk a little bit of brief Leica history. It was founded by Ernst Leist and with the help of Oscar Barnack. And together they kind of have this vision of, they're basically trendsetters in the photography industry. They started the current trends that we've seen, the current 3:2 aspect ratio seen on current cameras right now, the 35mm full frame size in some of your cameras, is still being used today because of Leica. They have this idea of, back in the day, it was basically big wooden cameras on big tripods. They have this crazy idea of metal cameras with a lens and in a small, compact, tiny body.